All right, Shalom. This is Shalomah from the Great Millstone Atlanta Church. Before I get started in this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rika Akwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace, safety, much love, and blessings to the elect of Israel. And this lesson is simply titled Revelations chapter 12, 1 through 6. Because these 6 verses have a double meaning to them. So I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna read it first, and then I'm gonna go through some of the meanings or the breakdowns of the verses. So Revelations chapter 12 and verse 1 says, "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 7 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto the Most High, Yahweh, and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, that they should feed her there 1,203 days. Okay, so starting from the top, that the woman that they're talking about is representing Israel. Verse 1 says, "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars." So that woman represents Israel. The sun is also representing wisdom, and the moon is the understanding. And the 12 stars are the 12 tribes of Israel. So this woman is representing Israel, and also the 12 stars are a representation of the 12 tribes. And I'm going to continue on. Verse 2 says, "She, being with child, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered." And it's basically talking about Israel being in pain. All the afflictions that we endure, crying out to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. Verse 3 says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head." That's the same representation of Revelation 17, as you see on the screen. So the 7 heads represents NATO, and the 10 horns is it's the EU. So basically, that great red dragon is Esau. Esau Edom, who is the so-called white man today. And it says, "And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born." So the tail of the dragon is representing the power of this devil, of Esau Edom. And the stars again represent Israel. But there's another meaning, because when you go back to when Yahweh Shah was born, Herod went to go wanted to destroy Yahushua as soon as he was born. So they had to flee away. So that's talking about this as well. And it says, verse 5, it says, and she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne. So that child, like I said, is Yahushua. And it says, and her child was caught up unto the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, to his throne. That's when Yahushua was taken up to sit on the right side of Yahweh. Verse 6 says, and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, that they should feed her there 1,203 days. So that wilderness goes into 70 AD, when we had to flee out of Israel. We had to flee out of Israel, and some of us, some of Israel went to Europe, but mostly over to down to Africa on the West Coast. Well, we pretty much stayed there for a while, and after that, after we was gathered up and pretty much brought into captivity, we was we was brought over here to the United States. Now, that number, 1,203 days, goes into the time that we're here in America. So if you take that number, it's not talking about days, actual days. It says 1,203 days. One score is 20, so that's 60. 1,260. You divide that by 365 days a year, and you get 3.45, which is pretty much 3.5, which represents the 3.5 decades over here in Babylon the Great, which is America. So roughly 350 years being over here. And after that, that's when this truth started to come out, which was about 50 years ago. And that lets us know that we are right at the end of our captivity. So this is almost over. We're going to be out of the wilderness real soon. As a matter of fact, let me go back to it. Because the Lord is getting ready to judge Esau, Edom, which is the red dragon, and Israel. We're going to be, that's going to be our salvation. What am I trying to get? Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 22 says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. So we're going to be out of here real soon. This is the end of our captivity. But I don't want to go too far off. That was pretty much Revelations 1 through 6. I pray that this was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us his truth, and shalom to the elect.